All right, Battletech enthusiasts, let's talk about the tactics of understanding good damage versus bad damage. And we're going to look at this from the perspective of happening to one of my mechs, because it gets reversed if it's happening to your mech, and then what's good, what's bad. So my Battlemaster is moving up, because last podcast we were taking a look at the Battlemaster as an iconic mech in your lance and using it as an anchor point. So I'm going to get in the middle. I'm going to get in the mix. And let's say I'm getting hit by, I'm not happy about this, but it is Battletech. I'm getting hit, or I've gotten hit. I've gotten hit by multiple medium lasers and maybe a PPC. Good damage is I take a hit in the right arm, the center torso, the left leg, the right torso, the right arm. The damage is spread out. The damage bubbles that I fill in are spread out across the entire facing of the mech. That's good damage. Bad damage is, so you hit with the 5 medium lasers, you hit me with a PPC, maybe you hit me with an SRM cluster pack, and now it's right arm, right torso, center torso, right leg. I'm taking multiple hits to the same location. As that happens, what that means now is now I become vulnerable to when half or more of my armor is gone, depending on the weight class. That means the next hit I take to that spot is going to punch through to internals. And once you go to internals, now your mech, is vulnerable to crit hunting, to crit fishing. And if you have any type of long-range missile or short-range missile or something that's going to work on the cluster, you want to get that into place to now go crit fishing and see what you can cause, because you're just going to bypass that on there. So as I take this bad damage, the example of my Battlemaster on my right side, we're really looking right torso, right arm. The armor is down. We might go to internals. I'm now going to look to blade my mech, torso twist my mech, move my mech to take that damage area offline of the facing. It's going to depend on initiative. Obviously, I need to have you move first, and then I get to move. It's also going to now take some of my weapons out of play, depending on the mech, depending on the facing. But that's kind of the calculation I have to make based on what's going on. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm not vulnerable to increased bad damage. So how do we get bad damage? I said we weren't going to reverse it. How do we get bad damage on our opponent? The first thing to do is just try to open up with as many shots as you can. And then once you see one area start to kind of take this example, so if I'm hitting on the right torso, the right side, and I see that trying to take more damage, now I need to try and do my best to position and take my mech so that I'm shooting on the right side, so it's going to increase my chances of hitting there. Now, no opponent's going to let you do that the best they can, right? So if I have 2 mechs working in tandem, I would take let's say I have a Battlemaster and let's say I have a Wolverine mech. I would take my Battlemaster and try to move it so that you have to face me. If I move that Battlemaster, I have initiative. I lost initiative. I have to move first. If I move that Battlemaster to the side where it's going to now shoot all of its weapons into the area of your mech that has taken bad damage, it's going to force you to respond in kind by blading or moving to try and take that out of the angle of attack. Then I'm going to follow up with the lighter mech, the Wolverine, to do it, or whatever you have in there. There are less shots. There is a less of a chance, but this is where the medium mechs and the lighter mechs, as the game moves on, now start to really punch through that armor as it gets exposed. And then finally, once we go to internals, we're going to try and hit you with everything that we can. Close range machine guns, autocannons. We're going to try and really hit you with missiles, spread them out there, roll in the cluster chart, see what we can do. Infantry are absolutely deadly when things go to crit because they generate so many volume of shots that you're going to spread out. Good damage versus bad damage. How can you, I have to get the analogy right, how can you get bad damage on your opponent but good damage on you? And for your opponent, how can they get bad damage on you and good damage on them?